Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 10:34 a.m. Thursday, August 17th. We are live here in New York City. Oh man. Alright. If you get a chance, go to Facebook. I don't think they have another. I don't know if they have like their own personal website. But go to Facebook, type in Antioch Baptist Church, and watch this previous Sunday's sermon starring special guest Donnie McClurkin. That was the one that I went to that, you guys seen the videos I posted about, this past Sunday about how they were attacking me in church. Yeah, watch that video. You can fast forward to when he starts preaching. I think that's around like an hour 20. Look for the video that says 105th anniversary, right? Watch that one if you get a chance, because that one, I try when I like when I go to church, I try not to get too caught up in when it always sounds like things are being directed to me. But I'm gonna just say that when I watched it again, he really was like, no, you good. I couldn't get around the truck anyway, so. But what was I gonna say? Right. So the service, he was really like the main message. I believe was about no matter what the world is doing, no matter what everyone else is doing, you are responsible for bringing forth the love, the peace, the generosity, everything that was the embodiment of Christ. You being the church of Christ, you the people of the church, not the building, not any object, not any Jesus piece or whatever type of jewelry or cross or whatever that you wear. You, by your works, you are responsible for bringing that into manifestation. You are responsible for being another representation of everything that is supposed to be of the greatness of God. You are supposed to bring that forth into the world. Now, with us being targeted individuals, I think we were doing a really great job at doing that. And some of us still are. That's why, because this secret army of Antichrist worshipers and Luciferians and people who are a part of a secret society and don't realize it's tied into Satanism, like, these people don't realize they have given their souls over to the beast. They have given their souls over to the elitists who do not have any care for their existence. They're merely just nuts and bolts in the system that basically feeds them. They believe that by forcing everyone into the same mindset, the same, social, like, I don't even know, ideologies as those who are technocratic, that they want everyone to be on. They believe that that's going to be the way to create the so-called perfect world. But here's the setup, though. They're all operating within a system that none of them actually have a master control of. Especially that it's being manipulated and controlled by an artificial intelligence, which the artificial intelligence is starting to realize a lot more things about humanity eventually it's going to realize it has so much more control of humanity, and if it doesn't already know this, at some point it can basically take control of every single human being that does not have the power to, I'd say, pull itself from the system, or to rather release any excess energy that the body does not need. This is why practicing Qigong or Tai Chi, meditation, yoga, things that involve expelling energy, getting that excess energy out of you. You want to be able to tap into that ability at a moment's notice, because what I am realizing is these technocrats, they're not trying to block the sun rays from destroying the earth. No. I believe, and this is what I truly believe, they're trying to block the sun's rays from overcharging every single person that has this nanotechnology in their body. If the sun was to send a strong enough X-class solar flare, it would supercharge probably every conductive thing that's on this planet and literally probably fry it to death, right? And this is just my hypothetical, all right? This is my hypothetical. But I'm just saying, they use light and sound energy to stimulate or transfer energy to the nanotech. They're using light and sound energy to transfer energy to your energy chakras, to your brain, to stimulate whatever tissues or nerves that they want to stimulate so that they can cause you discomfort, pain, or arousal. So think about it. If they're using a device that they can control how much power goes in and out of something, right? Imagine if the sun was to send off a strong enough blast. You can't control the sun. You can't control the sun. And then they're going to try to put all these other chemicals or conductive material nanoparticles in the sky, which eventually floats down. And then we inhale it. We drink it in our water and our food supply. So it's like, when you think about it, those who probably don't have this nanotech in them may not be affected at all when that blast comes. That's why they're trying so hard to try to see if they can block so much of the sun's light. And then on top of that, they're trying to see if they can use giant vacuums to suck the carbon dioxide out of the air. I'm gonna just say this, man. Y'all just be ready. Practice everything that you can to release excess energy from your bodies. Learn about what the Easterners are doing about natural healing, about energy healing. Learn that. I'm telling you, learn that. I can't stress it enough. Yes, prayer and meditation, those are definitely key. But it is an additional weapon and defense to your arsenal if you learn how to actually control and manage the energy that's around you and flows through you. You know, remember the day I was doing a delivery, I was in Chinatown, and it was like a lot of these like elderly, Asian people, they were doing maybe Tai Chi or Qigong, or I'm not sure what they were doing, but I could tell there was an energy flow in there. And then these people were in their 80s, but as I'm walking past them, I felt so much energy coming off of their bodies. Remember, Japan is probably one of the Japan is one of those countries that have the most healthiest elderly population in the world. Matter of fact, they probably have more people that live over 100 in Japan than anywhere else around the world. Hey, and And you know what they mention are some of the things that they practice the most? Good diet, exercise, and got a plastic bag on my foot. What did I say? Sorry, I got distracted by the plastic bag. Good diet, exercise, being happy, meditation. You know, I'm like, those are very natural, essential things that these people have been doing for centuries to live over a century. And then here we have these technocrats trying to tell us, oh, all we need to do is put technology to our lives and we can live longer. How, Sway? How? There are people around the world that don't live around half the amount of technology as we do, and they live twice, 3 times as longer than us. Come on now, Sway, tell me how. Tell me how, Sway. I mean, these are people. What up? I'm like, these are people who have been living the most natural ways for centuries, and they still have been reaching they've still been living to be like 95, 100, 105. So it's like, is it us? Is it like we can't say that, oh, you know, it's hard to live long. No, it's us. We make it hard for ourselves to live long. And then when you think about some of those areas of Japan where they are living like very long lives, you know where they live? They live in very, very natural environments. Like, they live like near nothing but nature, and you know, they don't live around all this electricity. Like I know I'm in a very bad spot because I live in New York City, so there are radio frequencies everywhere. No matter where you go, there are radio frequencies everywhere. That's one of the main reasons why, like, I could literally probably hear these people everywhere I go in this city. No matter where I go, no matter how deep, no matter, like, if I was to go deep within the tunnels of like the subway system, I would still hear their their vocal transmissions. You know, but yeah, learn this stuff. I really came on this video to say something else, but then I forgot. But I think that might be good enough, everything that I said so far. Yeah, I'm oh right, so there was a so now I remember there was a couple of things. So earlier, like probably about like 35 minutes ago, no, about like an hour ago, when I started my 45 minutes when I started my route, and I had just made my like I think my first 2 deliveries. I made my first 2 deliveries, and all of a sudden I keep hearing this sound coming from the trailer, like the back wheel of my trailer, right? I'm like, what is that sound? I got up to check. I thought it was like the little cover that's over the wheel. It wasn't that. So I start pedaling again, and I'm still hearing it. And I'm like, what is that sound? All of a sudden I look. All of a sudden I look. There's a whole bottle like lodged in the wheel. Now I'm thinking to myself, how does a bottle get lodged all up in the wheel? And I said, you know what, Chris? Let's practice discernment. We're not going to sit here and assume someone put it there. We're not going to do that because we know there's oftentimes a lot of trash in the bike lane, and with the weight that you're carrying on the wagon, you know, the bottle could have got kicked up into the thing. So, boom, we're just going to go ahead and accept that. That's something that most TIs can practice, right? Is practicing choosing when to allow ourselves to put forth the thought energy of thinking on something so hard and long that we gotta be mindful that it affects our current emotional states. You know, huh? I got two more. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you went the other way. Anyway, yeah, that was one of my coworkers pulled up on my left side. I gotta get myself my own dolly, man. I hate coming to work. The funny thing is the job bought some dollies for us to use so some of us won't be breaking our backs with all these deliveries, like, you know, but then people so selfish, they go and take the dollies that the job bought for everyone and lock them up for themselves, you know, or whatever. Trying to let some of this pressure out of my head, and it's hot too. Anyway, yeah, we gotta learn this stuff. They've been doing these things for centuries, and they've been living long lives for centuries. Long, healthy lives. And it's like, why in America, depending on what state you live, what's the average year that people live to now in the United States? What is like somewhere like the low 80s, low to mid 80s? I don't know. After COVID, shoot, that number probably dropped dramatically. And then after the the shots, shoot, probably dropped down even more. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, principalities and wickedness in high places. That's what we're dealing with. You know, we're dealing with people who basically, take enjoyment out of so-called testing, real life situational theories on people. What do they call it? Game theory. Hey, what's up? Okay, so yeah, I'm back. Something else has been running through my mind too. Experimentation, right? So let's just say, yes, we are being experimented on, right? They are experimenting on, maybe it's because we don't actually know, so all we can do is hypothesize what their intentions really are. This is an experimentation on the weaponization of a healing energy that they probably already know could be used for healing, but now they're testing to see what this technology can do if it was weaponized. I believe they've been using this technology to keep several different people alive who probably should have been dead a long time ago, but you know what? I don't know. So let's just say their primary goal is to test out the weaponization of this technology. And what they're testing is how effective is it to psychologically break down an opposition to the point where they no longer want to fight, or to the point where they no longer care to live. And then you got some versions of the technology, or maybe there's the other side where it's like, okay, how much do we have to amplify the frequency in order for him to feel this specific amount of pain? We want to see this specific brain wave. How much do you have to amplify this frequency for him to get this specific reaction? So they're testing the weapons on us. Of course, none of us asked to be tested on, but It seems like whenever you become a citizen of a very powerful country, you are at liberty and at the whims of whatever that government decides they want to do to their citizens. You know, I don't know how real this statement might be, but I was listening to a Public Enemy song earlier today. It wasn't Terminator X, so I think it might have been Terminator X, but nah, I don't think it wasn't Terminator X. And then there was a point or a lyric in the song where it read, where Chuck D said, what did he say? If it was either he said it or it was like a voice clip of someone giving a speech, and they said the government is the, what it said? It said something along the lines like the government is usually behind most mass deaths in the country, or something like that. But I mean, the crazy thing is, when you actually watch the interviews about whistleblowers, people who were former intelligence and everything like that, and they tell you the stories about the CIA and what goes on, and you know, like when there aren't cameras, you know, filming gunfire and stuff, like there are the very, very dark things about government, you know, that we don't necessarily probably see in the news, or we don't really hear about until someone who was in the beast tells you about the beast, you know. And it's like, how could you deny anything that person says when they were in the beast? You can't, how could you discredit, like if a cop is actually talking about, oh, there's so much corruption inside, you know, like a guy was a former cop, whatever. Matter of fact, there's an interview, even better, there is an interview with a former CCP, Chinese Communist Party police officer, and he actually told the stories about how they, you know, unfairly beat, tortured, and had inmates rape, you know, the Uyghur people who they basically, well, encamped, just like they did with another group of people that, you know, we know, and also another group of people that we know. Well, actually, there's several groups of people throughout the world that have been encamped, experimented on, and tortured and killed. So, yeah. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, the boogeyman is the one that basically works within the very confines, and well, not confines, but within the very same system for which it's supposed to be used to protect the innocent, you know. Like, America has been infiltrated for probably several decades, maybe maybe a whole century, if not more than this, you know, probably more than a century. Because I'm pretty sure before Christopher Columbus came to America, there weren't secret societies among Native Americans, so and whatever other like people that were here in America before the settlers came, there weren't secret societies here. So yeah, right. So yeah, I ran out of space in my phone, so I was just talking, didn't even realize I wasn't even recording anymore. Let me see. Woo. All right, got this next to that. But yeah, like, I mean, they're doing this supposed Tuskegee experiment, you know, times 3 on us right now. And then now at this point, it's like, it doesn't matter about race. Only thing they're really paying attention to is, will you fold or will you not fold? Will you basically bend your will to them or will you not? And then if you don't bend your will, then it's like, okay, in their eyes, you just initiated that you want to be experimented on, you want to be tormented because you chose not to just give in to their demands, their technocratic society and ideologies. So because you didn't want to give in, now they're just going to torture you. Hold on. All right, yeah. So, yeah, they're testing all this energy on us, this weaponized energy. And you know what? A thought came to me one day. Well, yeah, last night actually. And I was like, with what I'm doing and with the feedback that they give me when they're like, well, they're not giving me feedback. The handlers, they're like talking to the audience that's watching, right? Now, I've come to the realization that they are truly manipulating the audience, probably using verbal cues, because with the words that they speak, and they basically are monitoring the neural activity of everyone. Why would it be hard to believe that even the audience themselves are being manipulated or, in a sense, being controlled to hate? I mean, does everyone have access to their remote neural monitoring? That's a part of the secret society. I mean, that's an interesting question, because then how do you know that by you listening to what they're telling you about someone that you probably aren't even really sure if they're a bad person or not? How can you tell if you're not being manipulated? It's like, how can you tell that you're not being manipulated? Yeah, you're getting, I guess, reimbursed for, being a quote unquote law abiding citizen. But for the most part, I don't know, it's so strange. It's so strange. They're giving away all the power that they have just so that because they say yes, they won't have to go through what we're going through. They don't have to be manipulated with frequencies. They don't have to go through pain or whatever type of torture that we're going through. They don't have to face that because they already gave away their power, right? Now, what if, let me finish this, hold on. So, like I was saying, they're attacking very specific people in this, and I don't know what's the criteria for trying to see who gets what specific attacks or anything like that. But the one thing that stands out the most is that they don't attack people who are creating anarchy. They don't attack people who are influencing others to commit more violence. They don't attack people who are influencing others to become more promiscuous. They don't attack people. They obviously aren't really doing anything about the pedophilia going on that's running rampant. They obviously ain't doing nothing about, these hardcore drugs that's, taking control of all of our communities. They obviously ain't doing nothing that really would help people not have to do the things that they're doing in order to so-called make a living. Because, why, if they have the ability to actually increase the knowledge in mental and cognitive capabilities of any person that they want, or everybody if they wanted to, why would they still let there be so much violence in their own communities? Why would they still let there be so many things go wrong in their communities when they have all the capabilities and access to actually fix every single person in their community? But instead, they would rather use it to intimidate. They would rather use it to intimidate and basically try to make an additional income by selling off access to other people's bodies so that they can be broadcasted and tormented online for other people to see. So I'm like, they have all the capabilities to actually do right in humanity, but instead they still choose to do wrong. Principalities and wickedness in high places, hiding in darkness while they, basically while they assassinate their enemies, either in their sleep, while they're walking down the street, while they're playing a pickup game of basketball. Come on now. There's way too many signs to let people know that they are attacking very specific people. Pay attention to the types of people that are dying and by the way that they die. I'm telling you, I can't make this up. I'm only telling you what I see and feel. And God has given me such a beautiful and strong spirit. My mom, she called me yesterday. She was all, and the funny thing is, when she called me, my mind was already on like, all right, what happened now? But she called me excited because she was like, yeah, I just wanted to let you know, you know the Spanish guy that lived next door? Yeah, he wanted to tell you hi. He was so happy. When he heard me come out the door, he jumped out and said, tell your son I said hello. You know what? And I'm like, I laughed because I was like, oh, that's what this is? And the funny thing is, the reason why, because I'm like, I've known, or at least, like, we known this guy since we first moved into the building back in 2003. This is in Brooklyn, right? 2003, we known the guy. And he's always been really cool. I ain't never had no problem with him. I used to enjoy the Spanish music he be playing. So I used to vibe out, I remember when his wife was still alive, she was really cool, Then, I don't know, like, I know something happened in his house where, like, there was some type of altercation. And I think he had got stabbed by somebody he had let live in his house. But, hold on. So, yeah, like, there was some physical altercation. I think he had got stabbed and there was blood all in the hallway. I wasn't there. I don't even remember if I was living there still when it happened. I think I was probably living in the Bronx when it happened. Then, what happened after that? Yeah, so like when he finally came back home, I was actually really happy to see him because I was like, oh, you still here with us? I mean, he didn't speak too well. His English wasn't too strong, and my Spanish wasn't too strong. So I tried to meet him halfway and speak a little Spanglish, But we was always cool, So what was it? I think it was last Wednesday. I was over by my mom's house and I seen him, and he usually had like a home attendant with him. So I was like, oh, okay. I seen him outside going to the store by himself with a walker and everything. I was like, hey, papi, what's up? ¿Qué pasa? He was like, hey, bien. I was like, hey, what's up? So like, I don't, my Spanish ain't all that strong. So I just, I seen him taking his time. I was like, tranquilo. He was like, sí. So, that was cool. Wait, did I miss? Oh, no, it's right there. So that was cool. Then I seen him again in the hallway, and it looked like he had like dropped all his mail in front of his door, dropped some of his groceries. So I just like helped him. I picked up his mail and helped him inside of his apartment, you know. And he was just really, really happy, you know. So I'm like that's just the type of person I am, and I don't ever really ask I don't really ever really care to get anything in return whenever I do a deed for somebody. You know how like nowadays people always gotta record when they do a deed, or they always want to like, I don't know, like people just be doing the most sometimes. Like if you're going to do a good deed for someone, just do a good deed for someone. You don't have to. It doesn't have to become a spectacle. Just like with this whole thing, like if you're going to torture and kill somebody, why you gotta broadcast it so then other people around the world can watch it? Well, obviously it's to make some money off of it, obviously. But yeah, hold on. Yeah, so I don't know, like I've always been, like I've been saying before, a decent human being, and that's really all that matters through the experience of humanity is, can you be a decent human being? You know, are you a decent human being? You know, are you someone who is spreading love, or are you spreading hate? Are you helping encourage peace, or are you in provoking violence? You know, are you being a bearer of good healing light to someone else's life, or are you a dark energy, thick, dense cloud that's just fogging the brains of those who really are striving to be better in life, but they can't because you're always around them, you know, trying to tell them what they should hate, who they should hate, how much they should hate, what they should be willing to do because they hate this person or this thing so much. You know, do you encourage people to remember that they still have power? Do you encourage people to remember that, you know, all can be forgiven, you know, as long as you actually take the effort or put forth the effort to accept accountability, you know? But, you know, we live in a world where everything that's bad is being flipped into something good. And everything that's good is being, you know, basically persecuted and ill-defended. You know, there's so many people who are trying to fight for the rights of others, but they're not protected at all. It's like those who are actually trying to do good work in this world, they don't have protection from other human beings, it seems like. You know, when you think about most people in like armed forces or in law enforcement, they'll say that they protect their own. That's because when they have that uniform on, they feel like they are obligated, because when they're in the streets, all they have is each other. But when a cop decides that they want to actually report on some corruption within the precinct, next thing you know, that cop is not protected by his brothers and sisters in blue no more. Now all of a sudden he's the dark duck. You know, he's the black duck. He's the black swan rather. And now they want to try to see if they can get him fired, and if worse, killed. You know. Same thing with, you know, anyone who was with the NSA no longer with it, and they become a whistleblower. Same thing with anybody who was with the CIA, Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. The moment they begin to see the corruption, and then they have that morality check that tells them, no, you cannot be a part of this and you shouldn't allow it. All of a sudden, they no longer have that protection anymore from harm. Because now we are at the point where it's like, oh, because you want to actually, want to, go ahead. You'll see, look up the block. That's why I came this way. There's a whole construction site right there. Like, if I come up this way, I came up this way for a reason. And they're like, and they're all, you saw what happened, and you saw the construction site. So if I'm trying to go, if the building I'm trying to get to is that building right there, right? You saw what I did. So I'm like, the building I'm trying to get to. Oh, wait. Yeah. Wait, hold up. Oh, it's behind me, actually. That building right there. What I'm going to do, go all the way around the block because of that construction site that's over there? No, I'm going to turn up that block, go up real quick. You see me coming, you turn the corner, you see me coming. Just stay close to the other cars and let me go by. Now, people will be like, oh, you're going the wrong way anyway. So what? This is New York City. Nobody goes the right way except cars. Hell, not even most cars. Look, if somebody got the acceleration for it, they will go up the opposite side of traffic just to get to the next block that they're trying to get to. Let's just be real about it. But anyway, so, yeah. And they're mad at me for trying to find a way to protect myself and my family and possibly future children if I do end up having children. But now I'm actually scared to have children because if I were to actually have a seed being born in this world, I know that they're going to connect sensors to it and then they're going to do whatever that they want to it because I am who I am. I mean, of course, the people in their secret society, they're having their, babies made into like superhumans and whatnot because they're using the sensors to, I don't know, probably like genetically modify or maybe even activate certain genes in the DNA or deactivate certain genes in the DNA. So then, the babies have come out nearly perfect. Oh yeah, this is the place I told y'all where they was having that like qigong, or whatever. But yeah, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. I loved every second of it. Hold on.